all the members here, all the students, the future leaders, esteemed faculty members, right? And this is, I would just say that, this is just the start of a very fascinating sort of a journey. And I would like to share my experiences, and then in that experience, perhaps, there would be certain learning lessons that you will take away. So when we started Digiyatra, right, I mean, it was when we were in one workshop for designing of a new terminal. I was at that time in Bangalore International Airport, and we were thinking of, okay, what is that new experience that we are going to give to our customers? And I wrote this story of, passenger just walking through each and every step of the process at the airport and reaching the boarding gate and boarding the flight without anybody stopping him or her, and just completely seamless. So how do you do it right? So innovation thought was there, concept was there. How do you do it? And at that time, 2015, I'm talking of. So at that time, biometrics had just started. It was very nascent stage. So we took it to the next level, which is from a concept, how do you make it happen? So we sat with a lot of these biometric service providers, stitched the whole end-to-end journey. When we did this, we felt that, okay, there is a possibility and we can do it. So 2017, we went live with a prototype with one airline, Jet Airways, and we used to do 1 or 2 flights in a day, processing passengers using biometrics. So the reason I'm telling this is, how do you walk that whole journey, right? From concept to making it happen, testing it out. So you build the prototype. And I would say that's the easiest part, right? Building prototype, testing it out, everybody is focused on the prototype, works well. But then when you go to the next stage, which is scaling it up to a nationwide platform, right? That's the most difficult part. So from 2017 to 2018, when we got the policy, to 2022, when we actually rolled it out, right? So many years passed. And this is where, so start first with innovation. Second is, what were we trying to do, right? I said that, the journey for passengers has to be like seamless. Nobody stops the passenger, so we are trying to bring convenience to the passenger. So what's there for the customer? So what we did were multiple design thinking workshops and human-centered design thinking, right? And what is there for the customer? What are we trying to enable for the customer? What is that value proposition for the customer? So you just think about it. Customer is at the core and center. Unless and until you bring a product which brings value to the customer, it won't fly, or it won't get a good market. So this is the first part of the story. And then how do you scale it up, right? To scale it up, you need people to sort of start owning up as Digiyatra. Oh, this is Digiyatra, and this is something which I am like supporting fully. It is my project, right? So we took the next step, which is we got the ministry, the regulatory officials, all these people into one room. And then we started to brainstorm what are the various aspects that are required to make this happen at pan-India scale. So airlines, regulatory authorities, airports, so many of the intelligence folks, data privacy folks, everyone came together, multiple workshops over the next 2 years. That's collaboration, right? You need to have collaboration with multiple stakeholders who are like, the enablers of that business. And when you have their buy-in, right, and I'm very happy to say this, there are people who, and you will see that there will be so many people who will say, Digiyatra is an initiative which I have worked for. So many of them. And this is because we have collaborated with them. Everybody has contributed. And now it's each and every person's own initiative. Right? It's not one person driving it or one entity driving it. It's like a collective effort. And that's one of the aspects. So collaboration is the other important part. So we did all this, right? And then after that, policy was written. So that was in 2018 August, right? And then we were like, okay, now we need to build it. So to build it, Digiyatra Foundation was formed. And once this company was formed, its goal was, let's build this ecosystem or platform which will provide this service to the passengers. Nicely drafted RFP, floated. We did a global RFP, we got global participants. Finally, we selected one vendor. We were about to place order. And then, pandemic, right? And when pandemic hit, was a shock for everyone. Funds dried out, airports were going to fund it, did not have the funds. And that's where the resilience comes into play, right? And we began to think, okay, this is not an initiative which we want to let go of. So now we have to, under these circumstances, what is the next thing that we can do? So we were initially planning for a central platform, storing passengers' profiles, and trying to build a mini Aadhaar sort of an ecosystem, right? Expensive. So we said, okay, let's again use technology. So we went to self-sovereign identity, which does away with all the need of storage of any central data. All the data is stored in your own phone, right? I don't need to store it. Why do I need to store it? I only need to put a signature on it. I'll validate the signature and ensure that the credential which you have shared is protected from any tampering, right? So integrity is what I ensure. So we did this completely decentralized economy, new concept. We were at the bleeding edge of technology. And now we said, okay, this concept is good, but who builds it? Because nobody has done it before. This is the first time that anyone would build it, right? So we said, okay, let's run a startup challenge. So that's where the startup thing, right? Both the previous speakers have spoken. There is a lot of potential for startups, and you as the future leaders, I think, have also got that, the innovation bent of mind, and Utkarsh, whom I met, right, was talking to me about some of the things that he is doing. So I think really fantastically, digital natives that you are, right, always thinking of what is the next best thing that can be done. So that was another aspect, right. So now going forward, what we did was, we said, okay, this startup challenge, we will float it pan-India. So we got in touch with NITI Aayog, Atal Innovation Mission, and ran this startup challenge, pan-India startup challenge. Almost 300 applications came in. And amongst those 300 applications, shortlisted into 15. And two of these startups got selected, one of them ready to build. And August 2022 is when we did the beta launch. And 1st of December 2022, it was launched at Bangalore, and Delhi, and Varanasi airports. And then, of course, we have added many more airports. We are operational at 13 airports. So now, going forward, what do we do? There has to be a future also, right? So innovation should not stop. So you should never settle for what is there, right? I mean, the world is changing. So we have started to broaden our canvas now. So it's not just airports that we will cater to. We need an identity validation at, say, a hotel. And today, what do? You check into the hotel. The check-in staff says, please send me your Aadhaar card or your passport, and you happily hand over the card, and then they take a photo. And now you don't know where this data is going, right? Completely an unencrypted identity. Who's misusing it, we don't know. Or a photocopy is taken. Somebody could misuse it as well. So we will now be providing this service even for other identity validation. So this is something which we continue to grow, right? And the reason I'm saying this is innovation should never stop. The world is changing very fast, and we need to keep pace with it, right? So that's something which we'll continue to do. And going forward, today we have got only domestic airports and domestic flights that we are managing. We will enable this, the same DigiYatra for international travel, and not just for India. So if you are departing through an Indian airport, you would go through a seamless process, and then say if you're flying Delhi to Frankfurt, once you land at Frankfurt, again there is a 2-hour wait for immigration. So the credentials that you share to, say, Delhi airport, the same credentials can be shared to even Frankfurt airport, and there it could be automated border control process, where again you can go through in less than 5 or 10 minutes, right, with your face as a citizen. So I think that is the scale up that we are planning to do. And I think sort of run out of my thoughts. The other thing that I would like to wish all of you is to never stop, learning. This is just to the students here, right? Our future leaders, and the learning process never stops. And we have, through the DigiYatra journey itself, we have sort of thought about it that if we had stopped at one or the other point, then we would have become redundant. right? So every time the solution has been continually evolving. And that's been because the technology has been changing, and you need to also keep pace with the technology, right? So continue to keep learning, and I wish you all the best for your future. Thank you very much.